good evening for the Europeans, slightly confused Europeans, fresh off the plane. That's just myself. So, I've got three areas to focus on today. And just in case you haven't heard about Whirlpool so far, I'll kick off with what an extraordinary success that has become. Come on to here. And why it is a template to drive similar outcomes of a very much bigger scale in the years ahead. Next, I'd just like to outline the work and functionality of the World Tote Association and how it can drive integrations and other highly progressive outcomes for the racing industry. And finally, with Winfried's comments around the sport's critical need to reinvigorate its appeal to the next generation, as you've heard much about already, I thought it worth just outlining some of the Tote's key initiatives there. So on to Whirlpool. And apologies to start off with a slightly wordy slide and another deluge of Whirlpool information, but there's a fair bit going on here, as you've already heard. So in terms of origins, Whirlpool's first iteration was born out of a partnership with the team at Ascot, the Hong Kong Jockey Club, and ourselves at the Royal Ascot meeting in June 2019, bizarrely not long before we last got together. And the core principle was to integrate pools from around the world into a common pool, enhance liquidity, and transform customer experience, while boosting returns to the underlying sport itself. The advantages of enjoying this global liquidity, while at the same time being able to maintain local regulatory structures for all participating countries, is highly differential. And since 2019, focus has been on very much laying foundations for the future, but highly significant initial results and industry contributions suggest this is the future we should all look forward to and invest for in the long term. So where are we today? So from the initial 30-odd races at Royal Ascot and just less than $100 million in volumes in 2019, last year saw over 800 million traded, significant year-on-year growth of 40% in the respective pools on offer versus 2021. I'm sure plenty of you will be looking at that stat of just 7 bet types currently on offer and be thinking what a small number that is when compared to the bets we have in your own respective jurisdictions. And perhaps that more than anything highlights just how early stage we are here and the extent to which growth is possible. So what is the racing industry's opportunity here? I think with this backdrop of growth and further reach, we have a very much more exciting platform for the sport to profile itself to new audiences and new generations. Where football has Messi, Ronaldo in World Cups, so racing can benefit from future Frankels, Armadis, Black Caviars, with global superstar jockeys being watched and bet on in an integrated media rights and wager path in Whirlpool. That integrated wager path is a key point of differentiation when compared to the global monetization of football and other sports who don't have this luxury. Perhaps that is the very point that makes Whirlpool horse racing's greatest opportunity. So what next? In terms of ambitions, identifying target audience and ensuring the product matched those aspirations was a key starting point. And while much has already been done, the highly competitive nature of global content and wagering means we need to listen to data, never stand still, and constantly keep improving. In terms of challenges, much has been made of the challenges around local rules such as place terms and other nuances. But Whirlpool to date has shown how with collaboration and aligned ambition, these are easily navigated. Also, the consumer has to be getting a good deal from the outset. All wagering companies will tell you the consumer very rarely gives products a second chance if the first impression is a bad one. There is just too much choice out there for Whirlpool not to be a good consumer experience from the very outset. So how do we go forward? Just highlight, given 26 countries working together in Whirlpool 2022 led to 40% growth, if we keep improving and extending consumer reach, their experiences becoming incrementally positive, numbers are likely to follow. So on to the World Tote Association, which I'm immensely proud to be co-chair of. I just thought it worthwhile to put a graphic that emphasizes why partnerships and commingling are so important to us all. Just here on the slide, these are some of the upticks in UK pool volumes for Whirlpool for the year Whirlpool was introduced versus the previous year. No surprise given the more attractive liquidity and pricing it offered our customers, but seeing these gains has been especially encouraging for a region with such high fixed odds competition. There are also plenty of precedents out there to add further encouragement. This is not unique to racing pools. EuroMillions lottery pools saw similar volume upticks post their merged national lottery pools, and things obviously get materially more exciting when multi-leg racing bets trade above fair value, as is so often the case in those EuroMillion lottery rollovers. Merged pools are so clearly hugely beneficial for all. So on to WOTA. Driving these outcomes is a core ambition. As you can see, we already have an excellent cross-section of countries, but all those involved, and I can see plenty of you here today, are keen to add to this number. Boosting host pool volumes is our core prerogative, and with that come the benefits to respective underlying racing industries. It really is as simple as that in terms of commercial ambitions. In terms of objectives, aside from liquidity, there is huge focus on integrity and standards. Not needing customers to lose for pool operators to run viable business models is a key differential to fixed odds. And we'll be working with the likes of the International Association of Gaming Regulators, the IAGR, and governments to ensure this is a core focus of our members. Finally, with all these facts in mind, members sharing examples of positive consumer experience is something we all focus on as well. So just the final slide on WOTA. We've strongly asked all countries who aren't current participants to consider how they might be able to fulfill the selection criteria in this slide. Direct affiliation with your underlying racing industry and being the fulcrum of your host pool liquidity are key attributes as we strive to reduce fragmentation and instead benefit from these global partnerships. Do speak to either myself or the wonderful WOTA Secretary, General Florence Graf, or indeed any of the WOTA members on the slide for more information here. So on to new products. I just thought it'd be worthwhile to highlight three in particular where pool operators might be able to engage new audiences from our own experiences. So case study one, reinvigorating well-established pool betting brands, and the UK example here is the PlaySpot. So the Tote was founded in the 1920s and is the host of many of the UK's favourite and most nostalgic bets. The PlaySpot, whereby you have to pick a horse to place in each of the 6 selected races, was typical of plenty of pool products around the world, needing significant investment to bring it into line with the modern digital age. After 2 years of testing and development work, we now have a slick, data-rich, live, digital experience with guaranteed pools on the main meetings to allow pre-event marketing. The impact to date is this is engaging a much younger audience, and volumes this year made new records. The second case study is tournaments, whereby we can bring pool betting's unique qualities right to the surface. Essentially, this is a leaderboard functionality of all customer activity on a selected day with prizes to the winners and various sub-competitions. Celebrating winners is a core differentiation of pool betting, and hence tournaments are well placed to bring that to life. The US has long been a leader here and inspired much of our initial development work. So just a year after going live, betting tournaments now make up as much as 50% of our online volumes on major race days, with player stakes rising threefold on average, and so many other engagement opportunities, and what is a more social, less confrontational betting experience for customers. In the UK, our £200,000 Whirlpool tournament last year drew huge attention to those bigger pools and had even stronger results. Tournaments in the future might identify both national and global champions of pool betting, much as we see around the world in poker and esports. Final case study is one where we just want to emphasize that we're not too proud to learn from other sports, and fantasy football has led us to working on fantasy racing. So fantasy football is played by a bizarre 8 million people in the UK, and racing is so well positioned to follow suit here. Customers get a budget of 10,000 to pick 6 horses to represent them across the 6-race card, with again engagement centred around overall league tables, mini-league tables, all ensuring further gamification opportunities in a free-to-play or pay-to-play game. In terms of results, these early days for us here, but already we have seen a very different customer set come through, younger and very much more loyal, much in keeping with the type of customers playing the football version. So each of these products will benefit from further international commingling or straight partnerships, so please do get in touch if this is of interest. So summary slide. As a passionate owner-breeder and lifelong racing fan, it's been a pleasure to highlight some of the positives this morning. In terms of Whirlpool, I hope you got a sense of just how the upsurge in liquidity leaves pool operators and the underlying sport in a very much better position going forward, and there is no limit to its scalability and what can be achieved here. Secondly, much of the work done by the World Tote Association will add to our capacity to deliver these revenues with country-to-country integrations, the oxygen to progress here. And finally, there are many ways pool operators can and are innovating to improve customer experience, and I hope the case studies I presented helped emphasize that. Thank you very much.